morning. For those of you who don't know, my name is Maya Karen. I run a fashion blog called Classically Kept. It does feature luxury, contemporary, and how to style, and now natural hair care and hair care topics. If you are into any of those things, please consider subscribing to the channel. Click the notification bell. That way you will never miss a video. So I'm going to keep this part of the video very short and very sweet. I just want to say thank you guys so much for your support. We have now gotten the community to 30,000 subscribers, so I am just so grateful. And as I said in the community tab, I am very aware that because of my outlook on certain things or because of the way that I dress, that my community was going to grow a little bit differently, and I'm fine with that. So this is going to be a Q&A, get to know me video. I did ask this question on Instagram, and I did ask the question in the community tab on YouTube. So I will answer the first 3 questions from Instagram, and then I will get into the YouTube, and this is in no certain order. So let's go ahead and get started. Okay, first question. When is my birthday? My birthday is December 22nd of 1988. So I am a Sagittarius, and I believe it is the last day between Sagittarius and Capricorn. The second question is, do you have children? I do have children. I have 2 boys. They are not biological. If you love the man, you must love the children. And the last question from Instagram is, what would I like to do to continue to grow my channel? Just keep doing what it is that I'm doing. You guys love the natural hair care. Right now I'm on my Cheve journey. Y'all love that. Y'all love the controversial natural hair topics. And then just when it comes to the fashion, just continuing to let young women know, and this is probably my mission statement or what I stand for, just to continue to let young women know that you are still beautiful, you are still acceptable, and you are still loved, fully covered. I would not consider myself a modest dresser. I would not consider myself a modern modest dresser. I would probably use more so simplicity. That is a synonym for modesty, or let's say a conservative dresser. But it's just to continue to push that message forward. I do have something else in the works that I'm excited to announce, but someone else asked about that question, and I will get into that later. Okay, next question, and if you see me reading, my computer is right here. It says, congratulations. I know you do mostly hair content, but if possible, can you do an updated skincare routine, even if it's the same as the last video? Your skin looks very healthy and smooth. Thank you so much. So right now I'm going to show you my skincare routine. It has not changed. I'm going to show it to you, and then we can discuss after. My simple skincare routine. First, I always brush my teeth. I take my cleansing brush with warm water and wet my face. Apply face wash to brush. Cleanse my face. What you do to your face, you must do to your neck. This is my gua sha technique. I've looked it up a couple times. Don't know if I'm doing it right, but it feels wonderful. Rinse the rest of the soap off my face. Now I apply my Thayer's Rose Petal Toner. Now I will add my facial moisturizer. You don't need a lot. A little goes a long way. If something is working for me, I do not change it. I have been using this Nivea since high school. At 30, I was gifted under eye bags, but that is a different short for a different time. And most importantly, you need a sunscreen. About 15 minutes prior to leaving the house, I will apply my sunscreen. I try to keep my skincare routine as simple as possible. Okay, so that is my skincare routine. As you guys know, when it comes to my hair care, when it comes to my skincare, I try to keep it as simple as possible. Simple is always best. But I do want to point out a couple of things. I cannot remember whether or not, of course, when I edit the video, I'll be able to tell, but I cannot remember whether or not I spoke about sunscreen in that particular short. The only thing that is different, or the only thing that I have added, is sunscreen. If you are someone who suffers from hyperpigmentation, I encourage you, summer or fall or winter or spring, I encourage you to continue, or I encourage you to actually look up a sunscreen. They have mineral, they have natural. Please, 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 please. I would probably say that that is one thing that I have not done consistently, but I have definitely noticed the benefits of it. If you are someone who suffers from hyperpigmentation, I would suggest to you to implement a sunscreen into your skincare routine. Okay, so a couple of points about my skincare and just my skin in general. I have never had problem skin. I do not have oily skin and I do not have dry skin. It's very much in the middle. Okay, so even when it came to being a teenager, I never had the acne, I never had the breakouts. A breakout for me is 2 pimples, anywhere from 2 to 3 pimples. If there are 2 to 3 pimples on my face, that means that there is something going on. And more than likely for me, what that means is that I need to pull back on the processed food, or I need to pull back on the sugar. So and I'm giving these disclaimers because, you know, people talk about skincare and you're just lucky and things like that. And in that area, I am. And I just want that to be known. I have never really had any issues with acne. I never went through the awkward phase and things like that. So I just want that to be clear. When it comes to skincare, I've never really had huge issues. The other thing is that as I am getting older, I have noticed that when it comes to my menses or when it comes to my cycle, I might have like one pimple, but it's not every single cycle. And I might get that one pimple maybe a week or week and a half prior to my cycle. The other thing is that while in keeping my skincare routine simple, if something works for me, I do not deviate. I have been using Nivea since I've been taking care of my own skin. So middle school, high school. And you guys have seen that before. I will link everything that I use down below. But that's just when it comes to my skincare, I try to keep it simple. Your skincare routine should not have 10, 15, and 20 steps. I understand that there are companies that are coming out with new products every single day, every single week. But if you find something that works for you, I encourage you to continue to use it. Now, as you get older and as you move through different phases in your life, your skin is going to change, and that might mean that you need to update your skincare routine. But if you find something that is working for you, please do not jump on the next bandwagon, okay? So those are just a couple of things that I just wanted to get out there. I have never really had problem skin. Well-deserved congratulations and thank you. And this is a couple of questions. So it says, I would like to know more about your diet and exercise routine. You discussed the topic in one of your get to know me videos, but could you go into further detail? What do your meals consist of and what do you stay away from? So as far as my diet is concerned, in 2014, I was actually admitted to the hospital. I found out that I was gluten sensitive. I am not anemic and I do not have sickle cell anemia, but I have a very, very low tolerance for gluten. I was in the hospital for a week. So I came out and I took out all of the gluten from my diet. And then in 2017, I watched the documentary, I believe it was either Hulu or Netflix, What the Health. And at that time, I was basically just consuming, of course, salmon and the fish, but I was also consuming chicken and turkey. That documentary grossed me out, and ever since then, which was in 2017, I have not eaten chicken. I haven't touched it. I stopped eating pork back in 2017, so that was around high school. My mother used to make the most delicious pork chops, but we decided to stop eating that in high school. So those are a couple of different things. No pork, no chicken. I went gluten-free in 2014, and ever since I've actually left the gluten out, all of the complications that I had when I was in the hospital are gone. So I was able to alleviate that with just the gluten. Now, as far as my diet is concerned, I try to keep that as simple and as natural and as healthy as possible. So let's say I wake up in the morning, right now I'm trying the mushroom tea. My husband loves coffee. I do not like coffee, but I am trying the mushroom coffee. I'm getting used to it. It's okay. That's helping with my digestion. And then in the morning, I might have like a UD's. They have UD's as a company, or UDIS is a company that does a lot of gluten-free products. They do have like this gluten-free chocolate chip muffin. I will eat that. I will eat eggs. I will also do waffles gluten-free. I love French toast gluten-free. Also fruit. I absolutely love fruit. I don't like any melons, but cherries, apples. I'd probably say for the past 5 years I have been doing nothing but Honeycrisp apples. Oranges, clementine, strawberries, cucumber is a vegetable, but I love fruit. Grapes. And one day I can consume a whole bag of grapes. I can consume a whole bag of cherries. Vegetables. I love vegetables. I can eat cucumbers raw. I can eat carrots raw. Really, the only vegetable that I do not like are beets. I tried a beet one time and I almost fell out of my chair and I almost died. I can't do the beets. I know they are good for you, but I cannot do them. As far as what also I eat, I love quinoa. I love rice. I'm Jamaican, so rice and peas, right? I love salmon. I love trout. When it comes to my, my kryptonite, it's going to be chocolate. It's going to be ice cream. Give me, and brownies, give me a double chocolate, double brownie ice cream, and I'm good to go. I absolutely love it. Everybody has their weaknesses, and of course it's in moderation. So when it comes to my diet, I try to keep it as simple as possible. What I drink, you will never see me sit down and just drink a whole cup of juice. I stopped drinking juice religiously in I would say college. I will, when David will pour out his drink, I will take a sip, but I am never going to just sit and finish an entire cup of juice. At this point, I just find it way too sweet. When you start taking things out of your diet and when your body regulates itself, if you try to reintroduce that, or if you try to implement it back into your diet, your body will let you know quickly that it is not for you. You've already gotten out of your system, right? There's no need to reintroduce it. I drink water and tea. That's mainly it. I drink water all day, and you guys will find that I love medicine balls from Starbucks. Other than that, I like green tea. That's really it. I do not, and soda as well. I do not consume soda. I find Pepsi and Coca-Cola way too strong. In my other Get to Know Me video, I did say that I'm trying to get rid of dairy. I have basically gotten rid of dairy except for cheese. Cheese and I go together real bad. As a matter of fact, yesterday I had pizza and I had a grilled cheese sandwich. I've tried the gluten, not the gluten, but I've tried the vegan cheese. I tried it back in 2017 when I was on an assignment. I was so hungry. I got the pizza home and I was upset and I was offended. And this is no disrespect to anyone who is a vegan or a vegetarian, but that cheese was so nasty. So do me a favor, if you are a vegan or if you consider yourself to be a vegetarian, please give me a couple of brands to try. I'm open to it, but as of right now, when it comes to the vegan cheese, I am offended, okay? I don't do fried foods. I try not to do processed foods. I used to love cereal, but a lot of the cereals, when you look at the bottom of the box, it talks about bioengineered food. For instance, what do my meals consist of? We can just run down the day. So in the morning, I will probably have an omelet. In the omelet, there's probably going to be broccoli, cheese, and mushrooms. I'm going to drink water or I'm going to drink tea. And then for my side, if I have any, I will have one of those UD's gluten-free chocolate chip muffins. I will probably have a snack that's going to consist of probably chips, or it's going to consist of an apple, more than likely. For lunch, I will probably do a salad. Sometimes it has salmon in it, sometimes it doesn't. And then if there is no salmon in my salad for dinner, I will probably have a vegetable, rice, and then I will probably have a piece of salmon. More than likely, it's going to be lemon pepper salmon. And then I will probably, for dessert, probably have some chocolate chip cookies, or I'll have some ice cream, or I will have a brownie. Okay, the rest of this, what do you do to maintain your well-being and your overall wellness? So as far as wellness and overall just mental health and things like that, whenever it comes to that, it's always going to be doing my hair. And you guys have heard me talk about this before, but I find doing my hair very therapeutic. Other than that, it's going to be really just sitting in my house and relaxing. But the third thing is going to be massages. Give me a scalp massage, a foot massage, and a whole body massage, and I'm good to go. Also, with a formal education in biology like me, curious to know, how did you get into the line of work you're in now? So I do have a bachelor's degree in biology from Norfolk State, go Spartans, but I never used it. When I went out of college, I was looking for what most college graduates are looking for. They're looking for money. They want to start their life and they want to start hitting their goals and they want to start their legacy. I got into insurance by way of my mother. My mother has been in insurance, I would probably say, since she graduated from college. So I got into my line of work by way of my mother, and I have had a very fruitful and successful career in insurance. Lastly, you seem very diligent with how you approach your life. What practices help you to remain consistent in your daily habits and lifestyle? Lots of questions. It's fine. Scheduling. I am a very type A person. I have my schedule on my computer. I have it in my phone as a reminder, and I have it in an actual planner that I that I write out. And the reason for that is because of my job. You guys know, as I said, I am now a full-time content creator. But prior to me being a full-time content creator, when I used to get calls for assignments, number one, I had to be there anywhere from 24 to 48 hours. I will give you an example. When that hurricane hit Texas, I was here in South Carolina. I had to be to Texas in 48 hours, and we started working claims that Monday. The reason why I'm bringing that up is because typically when I first go on an assignment, it is anywhere from 6 to 7 days a week, 12-hour days. So from 7 to 7. That does not leave a lot of time for leisure. That does not leave a lot of time for dilly-dallying. So scheduling, and I still work on that schedule. Now my life looks different, but I still get up, I wash my face, I brush my teeth, I take a shower, I do my bed, I make my bed, I answer emails. You will notice, if you've been a part of the community, I would probably say for the better half or the beginning half of 2014, you will notice that I answer comments typically early in the morning because I have already done what I needed to get done to prepare myself to sit at my desk and work. But scheduling, anything that I do, I try to do it with purpose, and I try to do it with 100% effort. 100% effort, 110, 120. Scheduling has helped me. I'm a very type A person. If there is no schedule, if there is no form, if there is no synopsis, if there is no rubric, I cannot function. There has to be some type of uniform to what it is that I am doing. Now, throughout my day, to break up the monotony, I might do something different. I will run to Target. I will go work at Panera. I might move a piece of decor in the house. But scheduling for me personally, if I do not have a schedule, if I do not have a rundown, if I do not have a checklist, if I do not have a checklist, I feel very lost. And then also, I was reading something where it says the average millionaire, or the people who become successful, or the people who are successful, in the morning they make their beds. Also, I have read a couple of different books and I've listened to a couple of different people. Scheduling in just your lifestyle and repetition and consistency. I have read that it takes 21 days for you to become consistent with something, or for it to become innate, or for it to become a habit. I have also read that it takes 7 days. I more so believe the 21 days, but just repetition and scheduling. Please share a tutorial on this hairstyle. You look gorgeous. Absolutely. Okay, next question. Congratulations, thank you. What are some helpful tips that may be beneficial to women in college relating to overall well-being, including health and mental wellness? First, let's start with health. What I will say is, when you are getting ready to go to college, this is going to be your time for you to step out and begin to figure out who you are and what your place in the world is going to be. And you're not going to be able to do that fully if your health is not intact. I remember Norfolk State, that's where I went, go Spartans. I remember when I first got there, I would probably say for the first 6 months, every single day I ate Pizza Hut with lemonade. Every single day. And while that was delicious, I began to notice that my focus, my energy level, and my mental was just not where it needed to be. So of course, that's when I started venturing into different things. I began with the salads. I began with the sandwiches, the salads, the pasta, the rice, just diversifying what it is that I was eating. So when it comes to health, I think especially in college, if you do have a cafeteria, just begin to explore different things. I know that in college, like I said, I used to eat pizza all the time, but in college is when I really learned that I absolutely love omelets. So when it comes to your health, and again, just when it comes to your diet, not necessarily be diligent because you're young, you want to explore. Just be cognizant of what it is that you are eating. There is nothing wrong with waking up at 1 o'clock in the morning and eating cold pizza. You're in college, that's what you're supposed to do. But maybe at breakfast, maybe you should have an omelet, or maybe you should get a little bit of fruit. Just be diligent. Don't be a zealot about it, or don't be zealous about it. Just make sure that you watch what it is that you are eating. When it comes to your mental health, it's going to be the exact same thing for just your overall health in general. You are not going to be able to just step out and figure out what it is that you want to do if your mental is not there. I'm not sure where you are going to college. If you have gotten in, congratulations. But on campus, there should be a guidance counselor, and there should even be some services for free that you should be able to access as far as a therapist is concerned, to just talk it out. If you are not feeling okay, that is okay, but it needs to be addressed. You need to acknowledge it, and it needs to be addressed. And the reason why I say that is I went to college 6 hours away from home, and I was an only child, and I'm also an introvert. But it's going to be a very different feeling. It's going to be a very different environment, and it's going to be very new. You're going to be in a different place. You're not necessarily going to have any rules. No one is going to wake you up. No one is going to remind you. You are essentially an adult. I don't know if you're going when you're 17 or 18, but once you turn 18, you are an adult. And for some people, it's going to be a culture shock, and it is going to be an adjustment. And you might not be able to adjust to it on your own. I know that when I first got to college, I wasn't necessarily homesick, but I didn't know how I was going to fit in. I eventually figured it out. I didn't talk to anyone, but I figured it out internally. But it's going to be an adjustment. And if you're not able to adjust, you're going to have to find somebody to talk to. It might be a girlfriend, it might be a sister, it might be an aunt, it might be your mom. But if you don't feel comfortable, reach out for those services. They are so important. It could be the difference between you just leaving college altogether and graduating with your degree. Next is conservative available fashion. What I will say to you as far as new is concerned, try H&M. Also try Forever 21. Zara is a little bit more than H&M and Forever 21 depending on what it is that you're buying. Also, look at thrift stores. Y'all, there was a thrift store by my school, and it was called Grab Bag Sundays. You guys know, like those huge trash cans, or those huge black trash cans? You could go into the store, grab Bag Sunday for $5 and fill that bag up. My girlfriends and I, we would go to brunch. Of course, I would hit my mother up for some money for brunch, and then what was ever left over, I would use for clothing. But you could go into the store and you could stuff the bag for $5. So then that following year for my birthday, I asked my father for a sewing machine. Very basic. I cannot sew. Please don't. I cannot sew. Please understand that. It was very basic. If it was like a skirt that needed to be taken in, I could do that. Or if it was something that needed to be hemmed, I could do that. So yes, that is where I got a lot of my clothes when it came to just conservative fashion, and when it came to just trying out new trends. And then also H&M, also Express, and then also Macy's and Dillard's and Belk. They have great sales. And then overall demeanor. What I will say is it was a group of us, or it was just two other women who I'm still friends with today. So it was myself and two other women. And we were, I guess you could say, more of the conservative ladies or young women on campus. And we were referred to as the three grandmas. And we actually wore that as a badge of honor. College is also going to be a time where you are going to find like-minded people. One of those two women stood with me on my wedding day. She was one of my bridesmaids. You're going to find some of your best friends in college. Unfortunately, I have found that as I have gotten older, it is a little bit more difficult to make friends. But just when it comes to your overall demeanor, I will say don't change. And what I mean by that is your beliefs, your morals, your characteristics, don't change them. They are going to develop as you get older, meaning what is important to you at 18 is going to change when you're 21, when you're 30, when you're single, when you're engaged, when you're married, and when you have children. But your core values should always remain the same. When you go off to college, they might change a little bit or you might feel a little rebellious, but most people come back to their core. So have fun, but just remain yourself. All of the women that I was friends with in college, we had most of the same similarities when it came to morals and characteristics. Everybody is always going to have that friend that you call when you need to tell someone about themselves, and I actually met her on a contract. But for a majority, what I will say about your overall demeanor is just stick to who you are. Don't let anyone try to shame you for your views. Those two other women that I just spoke about, the three grandmas, people knew not to come to us with foolishness. They just knew, whether it was a woman or whether it was a man. They came to us very respectful, and that was because of the way that we carried ourselves on campus. We still had fun, but it just may have not been the fun that the rest of the people on campus were doing. The drinking, the smoking, and the clubbing. We found other ways to have fun. Next question. I love your style so much. Thank you. Do you shop at certain stores or have clothing made for you? Sorry if this has been asked before. It's fine. So as far as shopping is concerned, when it comes to conservative or more of conservative outlook, I still shop at the same places. I love Aisler or Eclair. I love Aj or Age. I love Shop Bop, Motor Operandi, and Farfetch. I love stores like that because they consistently have new designers coming in and they consistently have new pieces coming in. Y'all know I love J. Crew. If right now I had to probably pick one store to shop from for the rest of my life, or let's say for the rest of 2024, it would probably be J. Crew. Also, Banana Republic. I love Macy's, I love Dillard's, I love Belk. As far as actually having clothing made for me, I have not had any clothing made for me. I do eventually want to get to that point, but you may notice that my clothes fit me like a glove, or you may notice that my clothes may come off as custom because they fit so well. Tailoring. I will link this video down below and the rest of them, but tailoring. I'm not going to hop on my soapbox, but I've said it before and I will say it again. Tailoring can make your closet look like it was built for you or custom made from you for an atelier in France or in Italy or Milan. Tailoring, so that your clothes look custom. Whenever I buy a piece, I always budget for tailoring, no matter if it's going to be too big, way too big, or too small. Tailoring. Next question. Hello, Maya. Congratulations. Thank you. Did you get your fashion sense from your mother, or did it just develop over time? I would probably say that this is 50-50. My mother and I have very different styles. My mother, when you look at her, she is the quintessential suburban mom. She has her little sneakers, she has her little cute tops, and then she has her little jeans. She is getting more so into the boho, so the maxi dresses and the free flowing. You guys know that I'm very nipped and tucked and very structured. Also, her little boots with her little leggings and her little tunics, her butt has to be covered. So when I say that I get my fashion sense from my mother, it's more so I was always raised or told to leave the house in a presentable manner. So for me, when I was being raised, that was you do not come out of the house half dressed. You do not leave the house in the clothes that you slept in, i.e. your pajamas, and you make sure that you are always covered. Covered means different things to different people. You guys just heard me say I do not consider myself to be a modest dresser or a modern modest, more so conservative, but you always leave the house presentable. And that also means, I'll give you an example. I remember when it was popular for the spaghetti straps when I was growing up and the halter tops. I remember tube tops were just out of the question. But I remember my mother sitting me down and we actually had a conversation about these spaghetti straps and about the halter top. The halter top was a no, but she did allow me to wear the spaghetti straps, but I did have to have a sweater over it. And I appreciate that because we had a conversation and she also explained to me why. So to bring that into modern times, if I were to come to my mother and ask her if if I was going to be allowed to wear leggings, she would tell me yes, but my butt or my bottom would have to have been covered. Now, as far as my fashion sense, I would say that it has developed over time. I was recently watching, or David had me watch, I believe it was either Harlem Nights, or I think it was Harlem Nights. The woman from Waiting to Exhale was in it. Jasmine Guy was in it. And when I tell you I was fawning over all of those pieces, I was fawning all over those pieces. Those women were fabulous outside and they were fabulous in their house. I also very much like, the nip and tuck. I also very much like, the coquette style, but I also love statement earrings. I also love very differently shaped bags, and I also love statement shoes. So I would say that my style is made up of 3 different styles, and I will put that video down below because we're getting ready to rev that series up again. So I would say that it has developed over time. I like simplicity, but I also like statement. Next question. How did you wear your hair when you first went natural? I wore my hair pulled back. So if you don't know, I was online. I am an AKA. But once I actually cut my hair, I did not do the big chop. I grew my hair out for 6 months, and then I cut it gradually. My hair was like right here when I cut it, which for me was the shortest that my hair had ever been. At first, I started pulling it back, and then when I went to rush and when I was online, I knew that I was not going to be able to tend to my hair as I wanted to. So that's when I actually started wearing twist. And then after I crossed, I found that I really liked that look, and then that's when I started wearing mini twists. As far as photos, I don't have any, but that's when I started getting into mini twists, and then that's when I started getting into just like the intricate hairstyles or updos with the mini twists. And the last question, will you be doing a podcast? So I will link this video down below. The answer is yes, but if I am being 100% honest, the reason why I have not started it, or my hesitation, is the delivery. I've already been called a pick-me, so that's neither here nor there. But my issue or my hesitation is the delivery. And I know that I need to get over this because I'm always going to have naysayers. I'm always going to have haters. And like I said, I've already been called a pick-me. But the reason for my hesitation is the delivery. If you did not watch that video, I will link it down below. I'd probably say at this point it's been going on from 3 to 4 months. I basically said that I wanted to start a talk show / podcast, just really addressing and having conversations about the way that our young women and just women in general are talking to each other, conversing with one another, how we're acting towards one another, and how we are coming out of the house. I feel as though that we are getting worse when it comes to that. The way that we are acting, the way that we are speaking, and the way that we are dressing. My hesitation is the delivery, because once you offend someone, they're going to stop listening to you. And someone made a very good point. What they were saying is that you need to make sure that when you are talking or that when you are delivering your message, it has to come off a certain way so that when you are trying to reach the people that you want to reach, you don't offend them, because once you offend them, they will not come back. And the people who already agree with you will tune in and listen to what it is that you have to say. So the podcast is still coming, but I just want to make sure that my delivery, still forceful, still constructive, but I don't want it to be disrespectful. With that being said, I'm fully aware that there's always going to be someone who is offended. There's always going to be someone who's going to be a naysayer, but I want the attitude and the message for a majority of people. I want it to reach them in a stern and constructive way, but also coming from a place of understanding and grace. Okay, so those were all of the questions. If I did not answer your question, please put it down below, or if you need me to expand on my answer, please put it in the comments. Again, I just want to say thank you. If you know anyone who is looking for a community like this, let them know that we talk about natural hair care here. Let them know that we talk about natural hair care topics, and let them know that we are more conservatively dressed, but we still like to have fun. I just want to remind you, here on YouTube, I do upload videos every Wednesday and Sunday. And of course, right here or right here, I'll put my Instagram handle. Thank you so much for your support, you guys, and I will see you later. Bye.
We always have it coming.